What's a lead for you? Do you know yet? Does anybody have standards on what a lead is, specifically and exactly? Janice?
Pre-qualify.
Huh?
Pre-qualify.
You pre-qualify them? Okay. What's your definition for a lead for you?
You have to have all, an email, a phone number, contact information.
Okay.
And to pre-qualify.
Okay. Getting warmer. Do you have a definition yet, Lisa?
Timeline.
Okay. John, what did you say?
Name, email, phone number, and they are ready, willing, and able to buy.
Okay.
Make that.
Say the last part
I
again.
said ready, willing, and able.
What does that mean? Please.
They're ready to buy, they're willing to buy, and
Uh-huh.
they're able to buy.
Okay. Almost. We're getting warmer. We're getting warmer. We're not there yet.
Make an appointment with them.
Make an
Sit down
appointment.
with them, talk
Yeah.
to them.
Okay.
Not
Anybody else? No? Okay. Here's
Sign the agreement.
sign the agreement. We're talking about what's a lead. What's a lead?
Someone that's interested in the product that I'm selling.
Interested. Okay, good. All right, let's just define this super quick because I think this is really important, especially when you're newer. You hit a couple of good ones, but let's get real clarity with it now. Okay, what's a real lead? Somebody who I should follow up on. Okay, number one, there's consideration to buy or sell. Some of you guys, I've heard like you're talking to somebody and you're like, oh, okay, there's no consideration. Well, maybe I could just stay in touch with you. They're a total stranger, right? Look, you're going to talk to enough people who aren't going to do anything. You don't need to add more people to talk to who aren't going to do anything. First off is consideration, okay? Consideration, okay? Buy or sell. Are they gonna do something? Next question, or next criteria for me for a lead is there consideration to buy or sell? What's the next question? Logical. What's the next question? When? Okay, so for me it's 12 months or less. I'm looking for 90 days is what I'm looking for. This is eyeballs. I'm looking for 90 days or less to set an appointment. But if somebody's 12 months or less and I met them at the open house, Lisa, then I might set that appointment still to establish some more rapport. They're not pre-qualified yet. They're exploring. They're talking about it, but they've identified that they're going to do something and it's going to be something within the next year. I might still set that appointment from the open house, from anywhere, actually. But really for me, because I taught when you generate, you don't have to tolerate. Okay, when you generate a lot of activity, you're talking to a lot of people, then these criteria begin to shrink because you just don't have time for everybody. False or true?
Yeah.
Okay, so for me it's 12 months or less. 90 days is that's the red zone where I'm really shooting for an appointment. And then most important, I call it cooperation. But like, will they consider you? Anybody ever done that before? Like you're talking to somebody and they're like, oh, no, you talk to them for a few weeks or a few months and then they're like, well, no, I ended up, I'm going to go with this other person. And you get ambushed on the fact that they actually were never going to consider you or you just didn't know that they weren't going to consider you. Has that ever happened to anybody? Yeah, Jen said yes, Nicole said yes, John said yes. Okay, rookies, pay attention. Like,
Hasn't happened to me yet.
yeah, right.
To go with me yet?
Right. Nobody wants to go with me yet. Okay, that's another problem. That's another class. We're going to do that. Okay? But look, cooperation is like, will they consider my services? Because even if it's 12 months down the road, Lisa, like, hey, great. Well, I'll definitely stay in touch with you. I know you're not going to do anything right now. We're not setting an appointment for whatever reason. I go, just to make sure, you know, if I stay in touch with you, I'd like the opportunity to maybe earn your business down the road. Would that be okay? Okay. Bang. There it is. I'm going to follow up with them. That's important. People forget that one and then they get burned. They spend all that time and that energy and hopefully not too much time. And now they were never going to consider you in the first place. So for me, these are my criteria for a lead: consideration, clarity, time frame, and then, all right, would they cooperate with potentially me getting business from them? Okay, comments, questions, concerns? All right, just a little nugget, okay? Awesome, so let's talk about freaking Gulai. Gulai's like, let's do pre-qualification next week. I'm like, okay, Gulai, I'm gonna do it.
And she's down here.
She's not here. Somebody has her number, text her. Paul was wondering where you are. Yeah, text her, Miriam. Okay? He's asking where you are.
We're waiting.
We're not starting till you get here. Not true. Okay. All right. So look, pre-qualifying the listing presentation. Now, this actually is, in my opinion, the most important conversation to have, and you can use it anytime, anywhere, any place. So what the pre-qualification script does is understand what's going on with this prospect at a higher level. What's going on with situation? What's going on with motivation? What's going on with their mindset? What objections might they have? Would you like to know what objections they specifically might have at the listing presentation? No or yes? Yeah. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yep. Right? So the listing presentation allows you to find some of these things out because less people actually show up and provide and give an actual listing presentation. Now, look, I get it. Some of these people that you go out to and you have a consultation with, which is you're just trying to figure more out. Okay, that's fine. But don't take away from the fact that if you don't provide an actual listing presentation for somebody who's ready to list their home, for me it's in 90 days or less, okay, then you will be less efficient. You will take less listings. You will go out and you can be nice, but being nice is not going to what's going to create a duplicatable process for, let's say, $1 million listings. They don't want to be your friend. You with me? They don't want to be your friend. They want a professional who's going to show up and execute. How do you do it? What are you doing? Okay, this is the start of having that conversation where, because most people don't pre-qualify their appointments, Haisha, most people don't pre-qualify their appointments, this is going to set you apart right away for you being able to differentiate yourself from the competition. Because the competition is actually not doing very few people are pre-qualifying and giving professional presentations. It's why 5% of us do 95% of the business. It's why really even it's like 1% actually do most of the business. What's differentiating them? Processes, systems, and models to run a business. It's not going to be enough to be nice, Brandon. It's not going to be enough. You need to show them that you have a system. Okay, so pre-qualifying the presentation, just FYI, you can see here, for those of you who've been around, this is not my script. This is not the script I personally use. The reason why we're not using the script that I personally use is because it's too long for you guys. We need nice and simple, something digestible for you to ask a few questions, because if I were to show you the script that I use, you wouldn't use it. You actually might even not pre-qualify. You're like, this is too much. So how do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. So I'm giving you guys a very simple pre-qualification script that you can get online. There's the information's at the bottom. And this script's been around forever. And it's a script that I used to use quite a bit to be able to get some preliminary information. Now, the reason that my script is different is that there was some more information I wanted before I went out. So I just kept adding to the script as far as stuff that was important for me to know. But this is the fundamentals. This is the nuts and bolts of you guys having a really good conversation to find out what's going on. Okay, so let's role play it. Let's role play it. And I'm going to role play it with someone who's been out on appointments before with sellers. And I want you to give me some resistance. I want you to be able to, now keep in mind, when you're role playing, you're cooperating. You're not being a total not nice person. Okay, but you want to role play resistance or certain personality styles, or somebody being very hard, or somebody being very soft, somebody not giving as much information, somebody trying to push you to hurry up. That's all good to role play, because those are real things to run into, right? And maybe you have a certain personality type or a certain scenario that you fear or that you've experienced that you want to practice, because if you're a disc profile, Brandon, okay, look up disc profile if you don't know it. Find out about disc profile. It's a very simple personality test. There's lots of personality tests out there. Disc is the simplest for you to understand that if you're a certain personality type and there's an opposite personality type, things could get real difficult for you. Who knows what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Right? What?
Yes.
Disc? Yeah, but if you're like a high S, right? And then who do you not really want to talk to? High D's, right? You don't want to talk to Janice, right? And then you start talking to Janice, and then how do you feel?
Intimidated.
Intimidated.
Attacked.
Attacked.
I'm scared of them.
I'm scared of them.
I'm like, no, seriously.
Thank you for the voice reason.
True. But
Yeah. And Fernando goes, it's stupid.
It's like, we're here to help you. Let me help you.
Right. So look, we make money by what we say. Okay? How often, how well we say it. And so when I understand, Fernando, who I'm talking to, personality type, I'm salesperson stranger, okay? So when they get a little defensive or they get a little aggressive, I can take a deep breath, Jen, and go, okay, got a little D here. Let me speed it up. Let me show them that I'm strong, okay? Or if you're a D and I'm talking to Jen, I need to go, slow down, Paul. Lower your voice. Show her you care.
Yeah.
Okay? Right? So hard. It's hard either way, you know? It's hard either way. Your ability to connect. Okay? Because what I'm trying to do here is find out how I can help you. But there's stuff getting in the way. Personality, ego, ignorance. And so this is not real estate, this is life. Okay, so when you get good at talking to people and understanding people, then you can really almost do anything, really, is why I love sales. And why I've spent so much time with cold calling, because it's a fast track and it's a very difficult track that most people are not willing to put themselves through on understanding how do you connect with people in spite of blah, blah, blah. How do you connect with people in spite of blah, blah, blah? Because when you can do that, I'm not convincing, I'm just sorting, right? I'm not trying to convince anybody anything. I'm just trying to sort out whether I can help you or not, whether you're open to help, be helped or not, whether you're in a position to want to move forward and be helped. There's a lot of money in that, and having conversations with people, and that's what we're doing at Power Hour for Real Sales Talk. Okay, all right, so I need somebody who's been on listing presentations more than 5 times. Okay, Janice. Okay, okay, real quick for context. When do I pre-qualify? Over the phone. I'm talking to them over the phone. What if I'm at the open house? When would I pre-qualify somebody at the open house? If I met Lisa at the open house, when would I pre-qualify them?
Right after.
Right after? Right after when? Like 10 minutes later? Oh, Lisa, I forgot. Maybe, depending on the rapport.
On the spot.
On the spot, could happen. Could.
But if you're busy, you don't want to.
Depends.
If I'm interested, I call anyone else.
Yeah. Well, look, so there's no wrong time to pre-qualify someone, but the sooner the better, and the more the better. Okay, sooner the better. As soon as I can get to them to pre-qualify them, maybe it's when I go to confirm the appointment, because I've set the appointment, because if you're not setting appointments at open houses, you're missing out on the boat. Like, you should be setting appointments at open houses for a few days later. You should be getting 1 on average, Fernando. 1. If you're not getting 1, there's something wrong with your communication.
Yeah.
Not the open house, not the traffic, it's you.
Yeah. I did that and she ghosted.
Yeah, right. So,
Like I set the appointment and then I confirmed the next day and she had.
yeah, because when you generate, you don't have to tolerate. So that means is that when people I don't know if you heard me say this before, 50% of them are going to cancel you, or you're going to cancel. So that's why I have to set more appointments, because people I don't know, they're just not motivated yet. They weren't really interested in doing anything. They actually don't like you. It's happened sometimes, right? I know, it's weird. I know, not to me. But anyways, no, just kidding. Happens to everybody, right? Everybody doesn't jive with everybody, okay? So, what was I talking about? Where were we? When? Okay, when? So sooner is better. When I go to confirm the appointment, right there on the spot. You actually, if you internalize these questions, you could be asking them while you're standing there and you're just talking generally. How about that for some efficiency and being better to go deeper on conversation and questions? You feel the rapport, the vibe and the energy's flowing. Get right to it. Get in there. Start asking some questions. Go right to it. This is the most important conversation, so it's never too soon to do it. Okay, now I said do it more. Do it more, meaning an old coach said this to me once, pre-qualify 100% of the script 100% of the time. He's right. I don't do that. Why? All the excuses, right? The conversation was kind of hurrying up. I kind of already know. Okay? That's what it is. It's crap. It's excuses I'm making because the more I don't pre-qualify, the more it hurts me on understanding where they're really at. And then there's inefficiency, John, in what I do. And then there's inefficiency in the actual, the relationship right now because I actually don't know where they're at a deeper level. Because you want to help people, no or yes.
Yeah.
And real estate's about relationships, no or yes.
Yes.
Okay, here it is right here. This is it. This is it. This is your opportunity to have real relationships, to understand people, and if they're motivated, they'll cooperate. If they're not motivated, they're not going to cooperate. Okay, John, so look, if people are giving you a hard time with this, or a hard time with questions that you're asking, they're just not motivated, maybe to do anything, maybe to work with you, but they're just not motivated.
Oh yeah, no, I've had listing appointments where I've come out with like little to no information that I went in with.
Right?
Like, what the hell did I just do here?
Right. What am I doing here? Why did I come here? I spent all this time. I drove to Manor.
Well, I live in Maine, so but
Okay, right.
Yeah, but I mean, just kind of talking in circles and not.
Yeah, right.
To a dialogue.
Exactly. This sets you up. The pre-qualification conversation sets you up. Okay, so 100% of the script, 100% of the time, you won't do that. But I promise you that if you commit to understanding this conversation and you're strategic about interjecting it more often into your conversations, you will be more efficient because this is still a numbers game, and we got to talk to a lot of people to make something happen. And it takes a long time for something to happen. And so the more efficiency you have, the better off you're going to be able to get paid more often. Who wants to get paid more often? Say me. Okay, 4 people want to get paid more often. Okay, pre-qualify. Here we go. Okay, so I'm talking to Janice. I set the appointment, and let's make this a confirmation call. Okay, and just assume things as far as motivation or whatever, and let's just role play and you know, be vague or give me some resistance. I'm completely fine with all that. Okay, disclosure: when I role play, I can be difficult, objections, personalities, all that stuff, and you role play to win. So you got to give me something to work with if you're being difficult. Okay to role play difficulty, hard situations, hard personalities, but you're already going to lose enough. You don't need to practice losing. You lose all the time. Let's practice winning. Okay, but overcoming. Okay, all right, Janice, so before I come out, there are a number of questions I need to ask you. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. If what I say makes sense and you feel comfortable and confident that I can sell your home, are you planning to list with me when I come out Tuesday at 4?
Yeah, potentially.
Okay, great. I'm glad to hear that. And so are you planning to interview more than one agent for the job of selling your home?
Yeah.
You are? Great. That's awesome. I'm glad that you're doing your diligence on making sure that you get all the information that you need so that you can make a great decision. Is that kind of where you're at?
Absolutely.
Okay. And tell me again, where are you moving to?
The Hill Country.
Hill Country, yeah. And how soon did you have to be there?
Well, I'd like to be after the kids get out of school, so
Okay.
this summer timeframe.
And is it May they get out or when?
Yeah, end of May.
Okay.
So ideally,
Okay, so just right around the corner, really.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And when I see you, Janice, how much do you want to list your home for?
As much as I can possibly.
Right. I hear you. I mean, you want to get the most money possible. And I'll tell you, Janice, as a professional real estate agent, I do study home prices every day. Therefore, I'm going to assume that you'll list with me at a price that'll cause your home to sell while still being able to get the most money. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so I'm going to draw you up a net sheet to show you how much you could walk away with when the property sells. Is that okay to give that to you?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, so to do that, how much do you owe on the property?
$350,000.
$350,000. Okay, great. And just out of curiosity here, have you ever thought about selling it yourself?
Oh gosh. Well, maybe a couple years ago I would have.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, everything sell it, I could put a sign in the yard and anyone would buy the house.
And some people did,
Yeah,
you know, some people did, but not right now.
not right now, no.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, yeah, it's a process and the market and all that stuff, and that's why we're talking. So I'm glad we have that opportunity to share how I can bring value to you. Did you want to help finance the home for the buyer, or do you just want to cash out and move on?
Oh gosh, yeah, no, one cash out.
Okay, great. And describe the home a little bit for me.
It's almost 3,000 square feet, 4-bed, 3-bath. The primary is downstairs. I mean, it's traditional, I guess you'd call it. Probably builder grade.
Okay.
We haven't done too many upgrades. I know there's some things I need to do. My carpet's terrible. But downstairs is really pretty. I mean, comparable, probably in good shape.
Okay, so it sounds like maybe you've maintained it, it's in good shape, but there's a lot of stuff that was original from the upgrades you put in when you first bought the home.
Correct.
And how long have you owned it?
5 years.
5 years. Okay, so not too long. So I'm sure it's in pretty, sounds like you've taken care of it. Okay, great. Anything else you want to share with me?
No, I mean, I've started some construction projects, and I don't know if I need to finish them or not. Kind of why my time frame, I don't know how quick, if I want to finish them up or just leave them the way they are. Some things aren't there.
Okay, well, I'm sure that's also something that I could help with as far as what to do or not to do, where to spend money or not. I mean, it sounds like you don't want to have to spend money if you don't have to.
Right.
Yeah, but if there's an opportunity to make something, to upgrade something or have it help the value of your home, I'm sure you want to hear about that.
Yeah, I'd go for it.
Okay, good. We'll talk about all that. Now, I'm going to be sending over a package of information. This is going to include my marketing plan and what I specifically do to get creative and find the buyers who are willing to pay the highest price possible. Will you take a few moments to review that? That's going to be really important.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah, and that'll help keep our time down. Like, I don't plan on being there 2 or 3 hours. This will help make sure that you see what I do differently so that you can get the result that you're looking for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I appreciate you looking at that before I come over. How about any questions you have before I arrive, Janice?
Do you do this full time?
Absolutely. Yeah, and it sounds like you want to make sure that you hire somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Been around the block a little bit?
Yeah, I've been burnt before.
Yeah.
I'm a little sketch when it comes to realtors.
No, I know you shared some of that with me as far as your past experience. And so I'll tell you, looking at that marketing plan will really help you dive deep on where I come from and what I'm doing. And also when we sit down, we'll take a look at a strategy to make sure that you feel comfortable and confident that you're in the right relationship with the right person. Does that sound like something you want to hear about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. How about any other questions you have before I come out?
So I know I've heard compensation can be negotiated. Is there something that you're willing to negotiate on that?
Yeah, for sure. Compensation's always been negotiable. You may have seen something around what happened with the recent lawsuit last year as far as compensation. Did you see some of that or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so for sure, compensation's interesting because obviously you want something that's fair for you, right?
Yep.
And then I want something that's fair for me. And most importantly, what a lot of people don't think about is a compensation that'll cause the property to sell. And at the end of the day, I mean, you want the property to sell and you want to keep the most money in your pocket. False or true?
True.
Okay, so we'll make sure we address that as far as compensation and how that can work in your benefit. Any other questions you have before I arrive?
No, that sounds about it.
Okay, awesome. So just so you know, our meeting could take between 5 and 25 minutes. Will that be okay?
Yeah.
All right, great. I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday at 6. All right, see you then. Thanks, Janice. Okay. What'd you hear you liked? What'd you hear you liked?
I think that you need to focus on what her question is. Nothing about you. It's all about her. You dress whatever concern she has. You dress it, yet not dress completely.
Yeah.
You just leave the room.
Also on the marketing thing, like I've gone back and forth on this, and I've come back to what my original coach told me is like, look, people don't want to actually want to sit through a presentation.
Right.
But we do need to have a conversation specifically about price. So for you to go through all your marketing stuff, I'm not saying it's wrong, but you can lose them pretty quickly. Okay? I mean, think about it. No one's like excited to like sit there for 15 minutes talking about what you do and what's important to you and how you do it and why you're so awesome. So for me, I ad-lib there. If you guys were following along there, I'll also be sending over a package of information. And then that's when I dump into really the importance of taking a look at the marketing plan, because everything in the conversation was centered around her. That's going to be important so you can understand what I do differently, because some of them still want to know that. Not all of them. Really what they want is to sit across from the table and talk to somebody and go, pretty smart. I think I trust them. This is kind of what it all boils down to. Like, idiot? No. Okay, cool.
Yes. It was a very, I didn't feel, I'm terrified of commitment. So you didn't push like this whole commitment thing.
Sure.
So that would have been like red flags.
Right? Because we're not, with Janice, we talk about this in Power Hour, right? Like, we're not, for appointments, we're not selling decisions and commitment. We're just selling the conversation. So unless it's something regarding getting in the way of having the conversation, then we're not. It's nothing. There's not really anything else to deal with outside of like, can we just sit and talk? You're going to do something. You have a time frame, and you're willing to talk to me about it. Okay, let's just talk about it. Decisions, compensation. Okay. What else you hear you liked? Repeat, approve. Yep, that's good. Okay.
I think most agents don't truly listen to what another person is saying because they're thinking about what they're going to say next. And you do that. Mm-hmm. And you in your brain, you can quickly interpret what she's saying and come up with a really meaningful, authentic response.
Yeah.
But that's through
a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Approving at a higher level. Good, great, fantastic, wonderful. I appreciate that. I respect that. I might feel the same way if I were you. Those are good approvals. But embellished approvals help them feel heard and make them feel comfortable, where this is a conversation, not me just flicking some surface level approval at you to get to the next question. Right. And I feel like a person, not a process. Because that's important. Look, this conversation, what's it worth? 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand? They just don't fall over. Like, you're going to have to earn respect, earn the fact that you care and you feel that it's about you, and that I'm not pressuring you. Okay, now I've earned my way through this conversation so that I can get to that $30,000 seat. Because to them, right, it's not a $10, $20, or $30,000 conversation. To them, it's a $300, $500, $1 million conversation. It's a big deal. You're talking about an asset worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. You're going to have to earn this conversation, sound like you have a system, be focused on what's important to them. Okay, questions, comments, concerns, or ahas about the listing presentation? Stuff that you were like, I don't know if I like that question.
I like when you said to make sure you're in the right relationship with the right person.
Yeah, of course the amiable did.
Yeah.
And even as I was saying that, I'm like, I know Janice is a D, but she really wasn't D'ing on me too bad. So I didn't have to like get aggressive. I was hoping you would have gotten a little aggressive with me. I was ready for a tumble. Okay, but the S, yeah, hey, to make sure that you feel right about the right relationship.
Then
Okay.
You slowed down and you said what I do differently. And
Yeah.
I'm just like accept like that.
Pace and emphasis to deliver, because sometimes you guys are saying stuff, but you're just running through what you're trying to say.
But I think you were very in control too, which as a D is something I appreciate. So that was, like, you were gentle with your control factor.
Yeah.
So that was, because if you would have like backed up a little bit, I would have gone in harder.
Look,
That was,
people can smell fear.
yeah.
And if you're not confident, you're going down. Mm-hmm. So you don't need transactions to be confident, but you do need to know where you're going in the conversation or where it could go, right? Because compensation. I love the fact that she gave me some kickback on compensation, because sometimes they do, and you got to have a response that's strong enough to move through that. Every now and a blue moon, not often, people go, well, just tell me what it is. Who are those people? D's. Just tell me what it is. Well, listen, honestly, it really depends. It could be 3 or 4%. I mean, obviously it's negotiable, but we got to sit down and like really look at what you want and what'll help cause the property to sell. Even then, I still won't commit. And then I did what I did, and then I do what I did in this role play, which is move on. Move on. Address what's important. What's the objection? Compensation. What's the real objection? I want to keep money in my pocket. I approve it. I talk about the reality of possibility. It was like, you want something that's fair for you? I tied her down. She goes, yes. And I go, and something obviously that needs to be fair for me. And then most importantly, what most people don't think about is like, what'll cause it to sell? They don't even really know what that means, but you should know what it means. What does it mean, Fernando?
Well, if their buyer's not going to get, the buyer's agent's not going to get compensation, it's going to come from the buyer. They're not going to want to buy that house, or they're not going to pay that much.
Exactly. You don't offer compensation, which some people think that they can do that, or they're going to do that, that's a good idea. Not a good idea. Okay, anything that stuck out as far as questions or?
I like question number 2.
2.
Because it kind of tells you where you are.
Yeah.
And then gives them the opportunity to say, oh, I've interviewed. So you kind of gauge where they are as well on that.
Yeah. You know what I forgot to do on that one, Brendan, is she said, yes, I am. And then what I should have done, which I didn't do, was go, great. You know, I'd be surprised if you didn't know an agent. Everybody knows an agent these days. So, and you know, it's a pretty small world. Who have you already been in conversation with as far as coming over for an appointment? Usually they tell me, and then when they kick back and go, well, you know, I don't really think it's important, then I go, hey, look, I appreciate, you know, obviously you know, you're looking to get the best deal possible. And I'll tell you, the reason why I asked that question, Janice, is that if I know who it is and there's no point in me coming out because they're doing something so much dramatically different than me, then I'll just go ahead and cancel the appointment. Because obviously you have to do what makes sense for you. So who do you have coming out? And then they'll answer.
Because I was going to ask you, if they said they did, would you kind of expand it, or you just keep going down the...
Yeah, I would ask that. I would go deeper. I would dig 3 deep on it. Nice. Have you done business with them before? So how do you know them? So are they? Do they specialize in the area? How long have they been in business? Which brokerage are they with? I'm just going to ask 3 or 4 questions to dig deeper on that. And on my script, I have that. Dig 3 deep on agent. Tell me where you're moving to. How much do you owe on the property? Okay, you heard me embellish a little bit on number 6. How much do you owe on the property? If you're a new agent, you're probably going to get kickback on that like 30% of the time. Okay? Why? Because your tonality isn't so strong. And so you sound a little weak. Safe place. Right? And then they go, well, I don't really feel comfortable sharing that. Why don't they feel comfortable? Because you sound uncomfortable. Like you're being weird, and then they're like, ooh, that's weird. And they go, no, I don't really feel comfortable sharing that. But every time, every time I preface it with, hey, I want to give you a net sheet to share with you how much you'll make on the property. Is that okay? They say yes. I go, great. To do that, approximately how much you owe on the property? 100% of the time. 100. Because when they're confused, when they resist, because what's an objection? You remember what's an objection? What is an objection? Fear, doubt, insecurity. So when they object, they're scared or they don't understand. Why are you asking me all this question on the agent? I don't really want to share the agent. What are they afraid of? I don't even know in that scenario, right? But the reason that I'm asking you this, okay, number 6 was prefaced with the reason that I'm asking you this is to give you an idea of how much you could walk with. And they go, and I tie them down. You want that, right? And they go, yeah, no, for sure, I want that. Okay, great. How much do you owe on the property approximately?
I feel like, wouldn't it be like the idea that if you know how much they're in the hole for, or it could probably equate to desperation, so they might think you might take advantage of them because you know they have to sell or they have to.
That's a real fear.
I would be like, oh, like I don't want you to have leverage on this interview.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you my debts.
Right. Yeah. Scarcity mindset, small mindsets are a thing.
And you can always say, like, I can find it online and just like keep it.
I don't know if I'd say I could find it online. Like, well, listen, I can find it online, Fernando. So you're not going to tell me.
Big time.
Right? But careful, right? Careful, because what's the fear? The fear is you're afraid of strangers. You're afraid of salespeople. You're afraid of being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Some people might have that. So I got to be able to deal with that. That's my way to deal with it before it even happens, if it were to happen.
Another way to frame it, guys, would be, I want to make sure that you're going to be able to make the right decision for you, and you don't have to come to the table with anything if you don't want to come to the table. So in order to accurately get that number, I need to know what you want.
Yeah. It's really only a big deal when you're uncomfortable with it, because people, I haven't said this in a while, people don't hear what you say. They hear how you feel. If you're uncomfortable with something, they could hear it. They could hear it. You heard it. How did you feel? What were you hearing with me? Confidence, comfort. Yeah, because that's where I'm feeling. I'm feeling very confident I can help you, but also very careful that I want to be respectful of your feelings and any objections that you have. So that energy conveys. Energy's real, energy's contagious. They don't hear what you say. They hear how you feel. And when you feel comfortable and confident,
So I have a silly question. When you're doing a pre-qual, so like, if I'm given a lead, I'm like, hey, this guy filled this out, he wants to get a valuation for his property. Are you going to pre-qual on that first phone call, like right then and there?
as much as I can.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Now I might not say, hey, if what I say makes sense and you feel comfortable and confident to sell your home, or you plan to list your home with me when I come out Tuesday at 4. I may not say that. I'm not going to say that, right? But it's
Build that relationship. Yeah.
you're talking about a valuation, and they want me to come out, and so it depends on where they're at. So it depends on where they're at here.
Okay.
Yeah. If he's within 90 days, really 30 days is like really the red zone. The 90 days is like the opportunity zone, but 30 days, if you're within 30 days, I'm presenting. Because if you go out and you give a consultation, somebody is in the red zone 30 days, like they're going to list the property within 30 days, and you don't give a presentation, very likely you're not going to get the deal. Much more likely you're not going to get the deal than have the opportunity to get the deal. Because they're not going to be like, oh yeah, come over again. No. That's not how that works. No, and you need to be clear why you're going out. Hey, I want to earn your business. Now, when are you having so what are your standards on when do you actually present? I just gave you mine. And the more you compromise your standards, the more you're going to compromise your income and your efficiency. Because you're going to be going out on appointments where like you're just having conversations and then nothing's happening. You already have enough of nothing happening. You don't need more of that. You need more results. False or true? Okay. So one more thing on here was people don't like number 7. Anybody not excited about number 7? Feel uncomfortable with number 7?
I like
You like, the D of course likes number 7. What's going on here? What are you thinking? I need to know. Number 7, have you ever thought about selling it yourself? Well, I don't want to give them any ideas. Like they don't know that they can sell their home by themselves. It's only like everywhere.
I like it because I actually, when I was selling my last house, I legit thought about it halfway through the list, like when I had already listed my property. And then I was like, well, what is my agent actually doing? Like, they're just looking at the sign and people are walking in. Like, I had no idea they were actually doing anything besides the sign. And I'm on a corner lot, tons of traffic. I'm like, I even told my agent, I was like, I think I'm just going to pull it, but I'm going to sell it myself.
Right.
She never asked me that question.
Right, because in my marketing program, I go over everything that I do and then reinforce that they get weekly updates with multiple reports of what's going on. So when I go in for price reductions, it's never, ever, for years, well, what are you doing? Never. There's only one thing to look at when I go in for price reductions. Price. That's it. Because you know what I'm doing. I'm showing you every single week. You know exactly what I'm doing. So when they don't know what you're doing, then they feel that, well, maybe I can just do this. And we talked about who wants the answers to the test. You show up to the listing presentation and you know that they're really thinking about it. Okay, let's talk about that. You better be prepared to have that conversation and provide value in that conversation, because what you believe about that conversation, are you confident to have it? Meh. Are you going to overcome the objection? Nah. I've taken for sale by owners at 7%. 7%, Brandon. Dude, all mindset. All mindset. Does that normally happen for me? No, but it has. Because I'm willing to go in and go, value. What do you think? They go, yeah. They're motivated because I pre-qualified. And now we're in a better spot.
I think number 7 also allows you, because you can say, have you ever thought about selling yourself? Oh no, I don't want the pressure or this and that. Then you can say, yeah, that's why I'm here. Because I can give you that stress-free process and stuff like that. So it kind of gives you the
reinforcing.
Talk about your quality.
Yeah, reinforcing my qualities. I did that a little bit with Janice on that one. Yeah, an opportunity to reinforce my value, an opportunity to make sure that that's not a backdoor option she might be thinking about. Because what is going to keep us from signing a contract if she's in the red zone on 30 days or less from me? Okay, well, for sale by owners, one of them. Number 11 is the other one where she kept, I was going to go until she said, no, I don't have any other questions. And I did. It took 2 or 3, it took like 3 rounds for me to go, any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? Because sometimes a rookie might go, well, any other questions? And they go, blah, blah, blah. And then you address, you handle it and go, we can talk about that when we sit down. And then there's actually more questions. Because she did. She had, it was like 2 things. 2 or 3 things where you were like, well, actually, blah, blah, blah. And I just kept, any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? No, I think that's just about it. Okay, great. Because there could be multiple things going on. And maybe she's even telling me something about her motivation or her situation. And I go, oh, wait a minute. You didn't say that before. Because my job is to ask great questions. Ask them well. Being comfortable. Being confident. And then listen carefully. And then repeat the process. Ask great questions. Ask them well. Okay.